I'm going to throw this thing out the window.
Awesome. So hello, everyone. I am Sarah Satterfield, and you might have seen me before at Races for Destination Training. I often help with the distribution of medals, and I'm going to be working with Craig, the race director, to co-host a series called Weekend Warriors. I know a lot of us that work out are what we would classify as weekend warriors. We do work out during the week, but we focus a lot of our efforts on weekend races. We're not professionals by any stretch of the imagination, but we do share a love of running. In my case, I'm also a triathlete, so I do a mix of running, biking, and also swimming. I'm currently training for the national championships in Milwaukee. I qualify for both the sprint and the Olympic distance. I'll be doing 2 races back to back if I don't drown on the first day. And I'm also in training for Ironman Augusta. That will be this fall as well. So lots of opportunities to ask questions if you have questions about our experiences. Craig more from the directing side, me more from the athlete side. Like I said, I'm just a regular person. I share your passion for athleticism and working out. My goal is to do races in all 50 states. So I'm trying to do a half marathon in all 50 states. I've done about 13 official half marathons and also a number of smaller races and triathlons. I'll be doing a race in West Virginia in June, and then also one in Houston this fall, and the Great Smoky Mountains Half Marathon. Those are 3 of my big events running-wise that are coming up. I also have a goal of doing 100 triathlons. I just did my 63rd triathlon up in Kingsland, Georgia, a few weeks back. My next triathlon is the end of this month, the Crystal River Series out here in Florida. And then about a week or so after that, one down in Claremont. So I stay busy between the 2 disciplines of running and triathlon. So any questions that, Craig, you might have to ask?
Well, basically, I wanted everybody to know that you're the guru on knowing about races, which ones canceled, which ones are coming up, which one changed location. So, excuse me. So you have a lot of information about that.
Sure. And as we know, the world did go virtual in 2021. And so a lot of our race schedules for the 2020. And so a lot of our race schedules for 2021 are deferrals from the previous year. I think we're somewhat lucky down here in Florida in that they are beginning to reopen live events. I know for many of our northern friends that is not happening quite the same. But we do have several companies that are reopening with precautions in place. Some require masks before and after the race. Social distancing, staggered starts are now very common. But I feel that a lot of our races now are going to continue to run as scheduled. So we're very fortunate in that respect. I mentioned that I was doing the national championships this fall, and then also Ironman Augusta. Both of those are deferrals from 2020, as is the Houston Half Marathon. But I'm hoping that at least this year, the second half of this year, and then into 2022, everything will be largely back to normal in the race world. As Craig catches his breath, I'll mention a little bit about virtual races. There are quite a few virtual races. Some of you are competing in the virtual Race to the Keys, which is sponsored by Destination Training. If you haven't joined that, there are options still. It's not too late to join. You have until about August to complete your mileage. There are several shorter distances. I'm doing the duathlon, so a combination of running, walking, and cycling. If you're a cyclist, there's an option for exclusive cycling. If you're just a runner, there's also an option for running. And there are both the full distance to the Keys and then also shorter distances if you feel like you don't have adequate time. What I love about races is the bling, and the bling for that one is awesome. In the tradition of ultras, you do receive a belt buckle, a really nice size belt buckle for completing the race to the Keys. So keep an eye out for that. You're aware that Craig has the series, the Cupcake Race series, Marathon Mania, possibly an upcoming race in the town of Tioga, so keep an eye out for that one. If you haven't been there, it's a beautiful little area. I did a race there about 2 years back, a 5K, and it was one of the prettiest little courses, just nice flat surfaces. There's no false flats there. It's legitimately a flat course. And I did get a PR at that race, so it's a very good chance to put in a good time. So watch for that one. There are also a couple events coming up this fall. I think my favorite one is the one down at Weeki Wachee. It's a beautiful trail run. This year I did both the 5K and also the 10K. There was a challenge, and we got an opportunity to run in some very interesting terrains. There was some rain recently, so there was a bit of mud, but it's just so beautiful to be out there in nature. And that one did have cupcakes at the finish. So it's always nice to run for a reward, if not a medal, with the cupcakes, or in the case of the run your buns off, the cinnamon buns are a very nice treat there at the finish.
Okay, I have a cough drop, so I'm going to give it another shot here.
There you
The
go.
only thing else you really covered it. It was great. The only thing I want everybody to see is down at the bottom with the Linktree/Dr. Craig is where I have all of the races and other information. So it's all have a fancy website. I put it on there. So if they click on that, they can put it in their web browser. They can find that information. But there more are coming up. As a matter of fact, some of the timers are booking races, and it's getting tough. But they're looking forward to having more races, especially down in the areas like Miami, Clearwater, Tampa, different areas like that, because a lot of the local governments have been shutting the races down, and you're aware of that. I ask you a question on what's going on in Clearwater, and like, bang, you know what's going on, is who's closed, all that stuff. I mean, we should have a radio station on what's what. But speaking about that, we want to do this weekly. And what I'd like to have is more people come on where I push it, promote it. They come on, ask questions. Maybe we could have a couple giveaways, that kind of stuff. So we make it interesting, and they come on and be part of our conversation. You were perfect. I mean, you list everything. Usually when we talk, we go on for like 45 minutes, but I wanted everyone to see that we're going to do this on a weekly basis. Now, if we don't have a lot of people that have gone on now, I can take the recording and then we'll put it on different websites or different Facebook pages, and then they can see our recording if they didn't make it for the live view. But live view seems to be the big thing on Facebook. With this particular one on stream, I put it on My Destination Training on Facebook, and then if they go there, they'll see it. And then I post the announcements on other pages and things like that. So we want to get it where we have quite a few people. I would love to have 100 or 200 people on here asking questions, and we would answer them. And I know, Sarah, you have the knowledge behind what's going on, and I'm sure you can answer most of them if I run short on some of the answers.
Sure.
And everything. I do know that I guess in Florida, triathlon season's coming up. Have you heard anything about anything canceled, or they're coming back from last year? I'll let you talk about that.
Yeah, so back here in Florida, we did have one triathlon towards the beginning of April here in Ocala, the HITS Triathlon. That ran without a hitch. And then Crystal River had tentatively opened up their series as a 3-race series. I believe it's the west coast of Florida where that's at. And they are fully owned at this point. If you go to the DRC Sports website, you can find the dates of that. And then Summer Sports has really done a great job throughout the pandemic, just keeping races going, especially starting in late fall of last year with modifications in place. I did a 5K with them on a blueberry farm a few weeks back, April the 24th.
Yes.
They did have very good measures in place. They advocated for social distancing, the mask before and after, and then hopefully that's going to be less and less of an issue as we move forward. But thus far, the cancellations here in Florida have become fewer and far in between. So I think we're in good shape.
Yeah, I saw those pictures. It looked like it was a humongous blueberry farm.